my gosh. Hey, Crazy Dre Podcast.
Welcome to all the people out there who are listening to this podcast. This is the Crazy Dre Podcast Show. It's going to be just my sports podcast. I have another podcast, or I have another page or channel called Unseen Strength. This channel will be directly for more sports entertainment, sports talk, sports gossip, I guess you'd call it. But today, folks, I'm going to talk about Angel Reese. And Angel Reese, as you guys know, is a WNBA player that is supposed to be comparable to Caitlin Clark. And clearly, Caitlin Clark is a better shooting guard and she plays better at her position than Angel Reese does at a power forward position. Now, in the beginning of last year, or even when she was competing with LSU against Caitlin Clark's Iowa team, there was beef. There's a lot of beef between those two, or between Angel Reese and herself and the media. And we kind of bought into it and thought, well, this is going to be interesting to see these two women play against each other. And you thought that when they enter the WNBA, that Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark would be great competitors, almost as though they're like Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. Comes to find out, it's not even close to that. Clearly, they're two different players. Clearly, one's better than the other at their position. Clearly, one's struggling mentally and physically when it comes down to play. Now, I think what I'm going to talk about is this, is that there comes to a point where you have to be kind of nice to the idea that as an audience, as a sports person, as a mature human being, you should probably figure out that this young lady is struggling with her game and her mental health. And I think for us as sports people, and probably some of us who are sports broadcasters and social media, or even sports promoters, you should kind of figure out how to just leave something alone. I mean, you're not making things better for her, and you're not making anything better for anyone else in the sport. You're actually probably hurting the sport more by trying to compare these two players to each other. Clearly, Angel Reese is frustrated with her game. Clearly, she is frustrated with the idea that Caitlin Clark is getting more social media, better press, and it's not Caitlin Clark's fault. And I'm not saying that Angel Reese should practice more or she should leave Caitlin Clark alone. It's just the media has gone out of its control to make something that's not actually there. We should actually realize that Angel Reese is not comparable to Caitlin Clark. So by having the Indiana Fever and the Chicago Stars, Angel Reese plays for, by putting them in the game, the first game of the WNBA season, is ridiculous. And just to sell tickets, it's just dumb. It's dumb to compare them against each other. It's dumb to prolong this beating of social injustice. And I want people to understand that you don't have to tell smart people that she's not a good player at this point, Angel Reese. And I would, honest to God, there's two things that's going on: the white media and the black media. The white media is prolonging this Caitlin Clark is better than Angel Reese, and they're like shining with her and all this stuff, which is fine to a certain extent. But when you realize that Angel Reese is not playing the same position and she's not that good, then just leave it alone and let Caitlin Clark do her thing. Let her do her thing. In the black community, I keep seeing black women talk about how Angel Reese is not getting the right publicity, the right social media. They think that Angel Reese is being attacked because she's black. She's not getting attacked because she's black. She's getting attacked because people in her circle keep uh, telling her she's good or she should go after Caitlin Clark and she should start fights on the court every time Caitlin Clark and her are within 2 or 3 feet of each other. And I'm gonna be honest with you. It just looks that way. It looks like every time that these two are on the court, they're going to go bicker at each other. And the thing about it, it's not like the Detroit Bad Boys and the Boston Celtics or 76ers, Dr. J against Larry Bird, the Celtics, or Michael Jordan against the Detroit Pistons. Because all those guys that I just mentioned, all those teams that I mentioned, they were comparable to each other to actually compete for a championship. Angel Reese and and Caitlin Clark are not even the same type uh, uh, compare uh, even competition. I don't know how to explain this. So I feel like if you tell Angel Reese, and I'm going to tell to whoever's telling Angel Reese that she should be fighting Caitlin Clark or she should be uh, uh, using her voice to injustice of black people. I think you're doing it in service for your own people, and you're doing it in service for the WNBA. I just think that you are, and I think that if I was to manage Angel Reese, if I was her manager or her PA or even her coach, I would just simply tell her, we need to focus on your game. You're a center, you're a power forward. We need to go back to the basics and learn how to get those rebounds off the board and put it in. That's where I would start. And then then the second thing I would do is run plays and see if she can shoot the basket within 5 to 10 feet and 15 feet to the 3 point line and see where she's really good at and what she's not good at and work on that game. I think if you're her coach, if you're just trying to make plays to go around her and she's not doing a really good job because I feel there's too much pressure on her and she's putting pressure on herself to prove to everyone else that she's just as good as Caitlin Clark. But you're playing in different position. Your responsibilities are not the same as to going against Caitlin Clark. So I feel that they need to change something. They need to slow the game down for her. They need to, I would almost, in some ways, each time she plays Caitlin Clark, put her on the second team, which means she comes off the bench. So when Caitlin Clark is on the court, Angel Reese is off the court. And when Caitlin Clark is off the court, Angel Reese is playing on the court. Okay. And people are going to get upset with me. Like, how could you say this? Angel Reese is a first uh, team player. She should be not coming off the bench. But as a sports guy, as a kind of a coaching kind of person, I just don't think that's fair to Angel Reese. I just don't think that. I just don't think that it's just not necessary to do that anymore. And again, I know that people say, "Well, Angel Reese did it to herself. She talked a lot of smack. She goes after Caitlin Clark every time they're on the court." But as a coach and her guidance, even I think she said that Shaquille O'Neal is her almost like father figure to her. And basically, if that's true, or any other athlete, or any other male athlete, or female athlete out there, they need just to slow her game down. And it's going to sound stupid. People are going to say, "You mean you're going to put her on the bench every time Caitlin Clark and her play against each other?" Yeah, I would start that right away. Now, other teams, she can start. But even if I was her coach and I see her struggling against other teams, not just Caitlin Clark's team, not against the Fever, if I see her having problems with other teams from the WNBA, I would have to slow her game down. I would have to just go back to the basics in practice and say, "Hey, can you put this ball in off a rebound after fast breaks?" It's when I see her play, it seems like she doesn't have enough stamina. She can run up and down the court, but when you lose stamina and you're grabbing rebounds and they don't go in, it's because you don't have enough endurance. Okay, because you go run up down the court, you go after rebound, you grabbing the rebound, and then you can't put it in 3 or 4 times straight times in a row. That seems to be a problem with Angel Reese. So I feel it's more about stamina, and sometimes I feel like she's so hyper in a hyper mode that as soon as she gets the ball, she tries throws it in, and she doesn't aim for the right spot in the backboard. And people don't talk about this, and this is something that you have to talk about. It doesn't matter if she's a girl, and then it doesn't matter if you don't like the WNBA. It matters in this case for even sportsmanship. I would tell the same thing to any basketball player in high school and college who is struggling against Steph Curry. If I saw a kid or a guy playing against Steph Curry and he's just all flustered and he's calling Steph Curry out and all this, I would tell him to shut up. Now, I wouldn't tell Angel Reese to shut up because she's a girl. I would say it in a different way. But for the guy, I would like, you need to focus on your game. You are a power forward. You are a center. You don't need to be attacking Steph Curry at the 3-point line. That's not your job. Your job is to get those rebounds, play the post. And this is what happens when you don't allow players to play their positions right. When you make players shoot 3-pointers out of nowhere, then you create a problem. You really do. You create a problem. You just do. When you have a power forward that doesn't know how to play the post, you're gonna get a bunch of Angel Reeses around. You're gonna get a lot of NBA players shooting 3-pointers when they shouldn't be doing it. You're gonna get a lot of bad games in the NBA during the regular season. And you might get lucky in the playoffs to have good games, depending on the referees calling whistles. I'm just saying, I'm just letting you too. So think about this, folks. If you were her coach, what would you do? I know I just told you what I would do. But think about it. What would you do if you were Angel Reese's coach and her management? I would slow the game down. I would focus on her game, one on one with her first. Take her to the court by herself. Say, look, we need to focus on your size, your height. That's your strength. That is your strength. Your height is your strength. you're athletic enough to run up down the court, but you're losing endurance because you keep missing shots. So when you keep missing shots, you spend more energy running back down the court and thinking about the misses that you made on TV. And when you get the ball back, you're missing the ball again and you're losing more endurance, more energy. And that's where those shots being missed is so high, because she's hyper managed and she's missing shots and she's losing energy. So understand that first. So let me know what you think. I'm going to do a podcast about Malcolm X either this week or next week. I think I'm going to have it next week, Monday. And peace, love. If you like this podcast, follow me on the Crazy Dre Podcast Show. I have another channel called Unseen Strength. I'm going to talk about mental health. It's for that idea. I may even put this episode on that page too. Peace, love. Follow me on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, rss.com. Thank you. Peace, love, and I'm out of here.